Good morning, English 9. It's Mrs. Sopiarz-Rianda. I hope you had a fantastic weekend and that you are recovering from the terrible loss by the Broncos last night. What a depressing evening. But onward and upward, hopefully next year. There's always next year, right? Well, anyway, so on to a little bit more depressing topics, I guess. If you think Eli Wiesel's night is depressing, it is. But it is still a fantastic read, and I hope you are enjoying it. This is our last session for night, Eli Wiesel's night, and you can see the schedule right here. Our last session is this session, session 4. All the work is due by the 9th before midnight. And remember, late work for Unit 5, you can still receive up to 75% credit if you submit work from Unit 5, except for discussions, by the 14th, Friday the 14th. Okay, so click here and click on night session 4. You can see again that our session begins today on Monday, February 3rd, and runs through the 9th. And remember, that doesn't mean that you are required to work over the weekend. I just give you those extra couple of days if you need it. All the work can be completed, should be completed Monday through Friday. And right here, clicking on that session plan is where you find that suggested schedule for this week. Our assignments this week, you only have 2 assignments because your first assignment is a night creative project and then a night discussion to wrap up the session and the unit and the book. So today, watch this video and review the creative project options and choose one. And then work on that on Tuesday and Wednesday, submit it on Thursday. Also on Wednesday, post to the discussion and then post again Thursday and Friday. There are remember, you have to respond 3 times in order to get full credit for that discussion. A couple of announcements. Remember that if you need any extra help, if you have question and answers, it's like walking into my office. It's a virtual office hours, basically, help session on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Just click on that link. And also, like I mentioned about that late work. So to navigate through the session, as always, you click on Next. And as I mentioned, we are concluding a really powerful, sometimes depressing, moving book. And it's time to reflect with a creative project. And we're also going to have a student-driven final class discussion, which is one of my favorite types of class discussion, which I took for granted being in the classroom because that's what we did all the time. So first, looking back at night. You will select one of the following activities to demonstrate your understanding of night and submit it on the next page. So you have 6 options here, 6 creative options. You can research heroes from the Holocaust and present your findings using Prezi.com or a similar website or program, leaving it up to you. And then here is a website if you want to do that research. It is Jeffco Public Library, but it is a great place to research heroes that might have been overlooked in the Holocaust, and they're right here. You can write a poem, an original poem, and also with that poem include images and music for a presentation, again using Prezi or a similar website or program that you have or like. You can write a interview, actually this will be obviously a fiction because you will be writing an interview with Eli Wiesel's father, asking him a question and answer interview with 10 questions and 10 answers. You can write obituaries, and here's this website to help you model what the form and all of the details that should be included in writing the genre of an obituary. You'd be writing 3 for 3 characters that passed away. And then you can also do a timeline, make a timeline or flow sheet that plots the important events of the novel. And number 6, you can write an original soundtrack. So you can select one scene from each of the 9 sections and create a soundtrack for that novel. And so lots more details. I just kind of summarized each one of these options. Be sure to also review this rubric for grading on what I expect to see in a top-notch creative project. And then you'll submit that assignment here. If you have another idea in mind, definitely just contact me and run it past me, and I can definitely work with you. And then our second assignment this week is a student-driven discussion about the end of the novel. Now, here's the thing. When I was in the classroom, this is, like I mentioned, this was one of my favorite types of discussions. And in your journal, dialectic journals throughout this unit, you have been questioning. You have been wondering things. Why did this person do that? Or just things that confused you. Well, this is the place to ask them. So if you want to go back to your journals and look at some questions that you had, or if you have some questions about the end of the novel that you would like to ask, here's your opportunity. Remember that these discussion questions are not yes or no answers, and they're also not, they don't have a right answer. So you're not going to post a question of what was the last day of the concentration camp where Eli was rescued. You're not going to ask that because there is an answer. That's closed-ended. There is an answer, yes or no, and there is a finite answer. For an open discussion question, there is obviously no right or wrong answer. It is your opinion. So think of questions that you had from the dialectic journals and develop those questions. For a full credit, post one question and then respond to at least 2 students' questions. So you should have at least 3 posts here. And then that is the end of our session, and that is the end of our unit. Next week, we'll start Definition Essay Unit 6. Have a fantastic weekend, wishful thinking. Have a great week. Please contact me if you have any questions. Thanks.